I do think some of the smoking restrictions we have are a little extreme. My favorite example is at airports. Ever been to an airport and the only place you could smoke is one of those special glassed-in rooms? Don't you love that? It's like a terrarium in which you can view the smokers in a recreation of their natural habitat. If you haven't seen one of these, get to an airport. It's worth the price of admission. They'll have a lounging area, a pacing area, because the smokers need their exercise. If you come at the right time, you might see a couple out basking on rocks or fighting amongst themselves, grooming each other. Parents are bringing their kids up to read the little plaque describing the species, right? Homo emphysemus, an endangered species. The only thing they don't have is one of those coin-operated machines so you could buy cigarettes and toss them out to the smokers. Right? So that's a very extended analogy, but again, so the purpose of an analogy, whether it's for humor or for just good communication, what's a great tool is sometimes you see a relationship, or sometimes you understand what your work is about, but it's not coming across exactly. Like if I just said, I was at the airport, and isn't that funny, the little smoking rooms with the smokers in them? It may not be as obvious to you what's funny about it to me, until I realized that it sort of looks like a terrarium. And suddenly it started to become very fun. Like suddenly the humor started to become clear to me. And in the same way, a concept can become clear, whether it's as a joke or not. So they're very useful. There's also exaggeration. And I have some more analogies. I have endless analogies. One of my favorites, actually, let me say this first, is about viruses. And viruses are very interesting. They're barely a life form. They're not necessarily a complete life form themselves. They have to get into a cell to be fully functional. But when they get inside a cell, they take over the machinery. It's like a hostile takeover. Your cells under new management. And they really, because they turn the machinery to their own uses. It's kind of like going into a Coke factory and having them make Pepsi. Or weirder, like going into a Nike factory and having them make Twinkies. So, so that's... sometimes, and I was talking to someone that works at a quantum computing center, and this could be an issue where sometimes your analogies and metaphors, they may not be 100% accurate, but really nothing is. All of language is metaphor. And really on some level, to understand quantum mechanics, you can't really be accurate unless you're using math, high-level math that I can't understand, and a lot of people here can't. So you're going to have to, and I really like accuracy. I want to be as accurate. I'm not a scientist, but I don't want to be giving out misinformation. But sometimes when you're talking to the public, not everyone, even another scientist, isn't an expert in your field. So you have to know your audience.